Alexandria City Public Schools. We're going to introduce our staff first. If you have any questions as I'm going on, you can put them in the chat and Q&A, and our staff will answer those questions as we go. And then at the end of the session, we'll stick around and answer any questions that you guys have in the chat. We're going to try to kind of go over all the high-level things that you need to know in order to get your son or daughter involved in athletics here at T.C. Williams High School, soon to be named Alexandria City High School. All right, so I've already introduced myself. On the line right now, we actually have Mr. Harris, who's one of our assistant athletic directors. He does all of our communications, marketing, helps with a lot of the rule interpretations. We also have Connie Olaya on the phone as well, who's our administrative assistant. Mr. Nick, how do you pronounce your last name, Nick?
Hildebeidel.
Hildebeidel is one of our rugby coaches, but also a PE teacher at the middle school there, and was one of his ideas for us to have this. Mr. Burke Stoy, who couldn't join us tonight, is our assistant director of operations, and we also have athletic trainer, Miss Marjorie Frankie, who helps with all of your injuries and rehab and all that great stuff. All right, first thing we'll kind of talk about is eligibility. It's a little bit different for middle school students, but we're going to kind of go over what they're going to need as a high school student and a middle school student. So you need to pass 5 classes and have a minimum GPA of 2.0 overall. Now, for some of our sports, 8th graders and 9th graders are kind of automatically eligible to participate without having any type of grade requirements. But the majority of our sports kind of follow the same rules and regulations as our high school sports do. The reason why there's a difference is because the Virginia High School League really only looks at the rules for 9th grade through 12th grade. But in order for us to keep our 8th graders on track and to make sure that they're doing exactly what they need to do and there's no confusion, most of our sports want them to meet this threshold of having a 2.0 GPA and passing at least 5 classes. Now, we have some students that are at TC Williams going into next year, we're doing a 4x4 schedule for their classes. And then in that situation, it would be 3 out of 4 classes. So depending on if things change, we kind of adjust that. The other major thing for, obviously you have to live in the school district. We're going to go over some of the paperwork you have to fill out in order to be eligible, but these are some of the basic things that you need. So we have a system called Rank 1. In the past, many of you who probably played high school sports remember having to actually take your paperwork down the hallway to the athletic office and dropping it all physically. We've been able to create an account. We have an account called Rank 1 Sports, where really all you have to do is you get your physical done at your doctor's office, or one of the great things is at our Teen Wellness Center here at Alexandria City Public High School, you get your physical for free. You just have to sign up for it and register for a time, and they'll actually give you a physical for free. So if you don't want to go to your regular doctor and you want to get a free physical, you can do it here at the school. Once you get your physical done, you can upload that right into the system. And we require that you have health insurance. There'll also be some other forms that you have to fill out on the online system. The great thing is once you do this one time, unless you move or your email changes or your phone number, all your information stays in there. So the next year, all you really have to do is upload your new physical and kind of go from there. You'll check off a few of the athletic acknowledgements, and that's pretty much all you have to do. So you don't physically have to come to our high school and drop off the forms. Now, if you do, that's fine. Miss Connie will take the form physically from you, and then we'll give it to the athletic training office, or you may drop it off at the front office at the high school, and we will take that from there.
Mr. Parker, let me jump in for a second. We just got to make sure that once you get the physical done, it's completed on the Virginia High School League form. We have a special form that it needs to be completed on. We can't take the form from your doctor. It has to be completed on the Virginia High School League form. It's located on our website, and I believe it's also on the Rank 1 Sports site also.
Correct. Yeah, so those forms are on our website, tcwathletics.org. But that's a great catch, Mr. Harris. You have to have the physical filled out on our VHSL form, which is on our website and also in the actual system. All right, here's kind of an overview of the sports seasons coming up. So for fall, which is cross country, field hockey, volleyball, cheer, football, and golf. So cross country, field hockey, and volleyball tryouts are August 2nd through the 4th. Their first game will be roughly August 23rd. For cheer, football, and golf, the start date is July 29th through August 2nd. Now, on there, you see that golf as August 2nd. They chose just to start there. Our golf team is going to start on August 2nd instead of the 29th. They could start a little earlier. You may be asking, well, why are they starting earlier? Sports, similar sports like cheer and football tend to start a little earlier just because of, for football, because of the contact. There's a certain amount of practices that we have to have before the kids can actually get on the field. And for cheer, because of the different stunts that they do, in order to make sure that they are able to do those correctly and no one gets hurt, they give them a few extra days to get the practices in. So during the summertime, some of our sports, and when you go to our website, we'll have conditioning days. So for example, our football team is doing weight room conditioning Monday through Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. here at the high school. Eighth graders are allowed to participate in that. They just may have to make sure that they have all of their paperwork done. So they have to have their physical and all those things completed if they want to be part of that. Basketball, for example, is doing shoot around on Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And throughout the summer, different sports will start doing some of those things prior to tryouts, just to give kids the opportunity to get in shape before they come out for tryouts. Now, going into the winter season, basketball, gymnastics, indoor track, swim and dive, wrestling, ice hockey, and cheer, which is sideline cheer, their tryouts are November 8th through the 10th, when their first contest being the 29th. And then spring season in 2022 will be February 21st through the 23rd. And that's the sports of baseball, lacrosse, soccer, softball, tennis, track and field, rowing, and rugby. And as you can see below the paperwork, we want all the physicals and everything done by those dates below. So for fall will be July 12th, for the winter sports, October 18th, and for spring, January 31st. We want to make sure that all the paperwork is in and completed by then, so that our office has enough time to make sure that everything is legitimate on your paperwork. You have everything in, everything is signed correctly, so that you can start tryouts on the very first day. Now we'll kind of go over to some of the sports. So everything that you see in red are sports that normally cuts. That they will have cuts. The ones in green are sports that usually do not cut. Now on this particular list, field hockey actually for freshmen and JV usually don't cut. Once in a while they'll cut for varsity, but most years they do not have any type of no cuts on those particular sports. So those are the email addresses of the coaches if you wanted to contact them. And these are just the fall sports. And we'll go on next to winter sports. But all this information is also on our website as well. So for winter sports, boys and girls basketball usually have cuts, and then gymnastics, ice hockey, swim and dive, wrestling, indoor track usually never have cuts. Now, ice hockey is one of our club sports. So there may be sometimes you have to pay for certain things for some of the club sports, like rugby, like ice hockey, like crew, but they're part of our programs as well. And all of these sports for eighth graders can play sub-varsity, which means any eighth grader can play freshman or JV. They would not be able to play varsity until they got into the ninth grade. And here are our spring sports. Baseball usually has cuts, and then soccer, boys and girls usually has cuts. The other sports, most years do not have cuts. Those are sports that, we want all the kids to try out. Ultimately, if there's a sport that a kid gets cut in, for example, some of our sports like track and field, for example, will wait, and any kid that's trying out can then come out for track or cross country and be okay from there. All right, marketing and communication. One of the biggest things that we've been working on and that we've heard from a lot of our middle school parents, which is one reason why we're doing this, is that they don't know what's going on, when the dates are, and we're trying to do a much better job of that. That's why we're doing this Zoom, which we'll continue to do each year. We also, once we get back to regular life, we want to come to the open houses that we have at the schools so that you can actually see us live, ask any questions that you may have. But we also want to give you some of the social media outlets that we utilize. So TCW Athletics _athletics is our Instagram page. TCW Sports is our Twitter page. And then we also have a newsletter. Some of you may not always get the newsletter because sometimes they don't allow us to send it to eighth graders, to eighth grade parents. We're working on that. I think the last one we sent out, the last two possibly, we were able to get to send out to the parents at the middle school. We're just working with communications on that. They don't want all our parents getting inundated because we have a lot of newsletters from different departments, and we just have to show them that it's needed. Our parents are asking for it, and we want to make sure they have all the information. So we're definitely making sure that the newsletter reaches you so that you have all this information there. Our website is tcwathletics.org. It has all the information on there, from schedules to how you sign up, what sports, our activities and clubs that we're responsible for, news. So anything TC Athletics, you can go there. We also have a parent locker room, which gives you information on recruiting information. You can buy your tickets to games, apparel, all those different things are listed on our website. So please take note of that. And then we have an app. So this is the Titan Athletics app. You can go to the App Store, put in Titan Athletics, and you'll see it there. This gives you all the schedules, news. Once your child is on a team, it's great because we can send notifications out to you if there's rain delays or we have any changes with the schedule. All that stuff is there. So please download our Titan Athletics app. That gives you all the information you need there. And we're like I said before, we're trying to create different touch points for everybody. If social media is not your thing, maybe it's the app. Maybe you like the old school way, just going to the website, or you like things sent to you. So we're trying to do different things in order to get information out to all of you. All right, so I'm going to go over a few things that we're currently doing right now for COVID. As many of you know, we didn't have a winter season. We started with fall season, and all of the athletes had to wear masks during the fall season. We had to do temperature checks. There was cleaning protocols that we had to follow. And currently, as the rules start to shift, we're starting to shift a little bit. Right now, during competition for spring sports, for example, our athletes do not have to wear a mask unless it's the sport of lacrosse. Other than that, if they're actually competing, they don't have to wear a mask. We still do temperature screening. All of the sports that we're currently doing conditioning days if they're indoors in the weight room, or like our basketball team, for example, if they're doing shoot around, they would have to wear a mask. And then we do screening questions as well. Everybody has to bring their own water bottle. And we keep kids, 3 to 6 feet apart. So as the CDC changes their rules, our school system then talks through those things and they make adjustments from there. A lot of the things that you may hear on the news don't apply to schools. So some things are a little bit different. We have a process for our coaches and all the kids and parents to report anything that happens. So if you are feeling sick, have a headache, any of those things, we have things to set up for you to let us know, our athletic trainer know, and our staff know, so that then we can kind of follow up with you and get you connected with the health department if need be. So that is just a kind of a brief overview of what we currently do. More detailed information on our COVID protocols is on our website currently. Transportation. So this is for regular life. Right now, when it comes to practice, we don't have any school buses, no activity buses that take our kids from school to school. But going into the new year, when we're back to doing things somewhat normal, There'll be an activity bus that runs from each of the middle schools to whatever the practice location is. So not all the schools practice at the high school. So for example, our baseball team practices at Simpson Field, which is kind of in Delray area of Alexandria. Our girls soccer team usually practices down at Witter. Softball team practices at Witter Park. Some of our freshman and JV teams practice at some of the middle schools, actually. So depending on what sport it is will depend on where you go. Once they're done with practice, the activity bus comes back around and usually brings them back to TC Williams. That's kind of the hub, if you will. And then from there, the bus will take them home. So most practices run from roughly 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then there's an activity bus that runs at 6 and another one that runs at 7. And then currently, all the high school students, and I think they just did a partnership also to add 8th graders, currently can ride the dash bus for free. So if, for example, your house is not currently on a route where the school bus is going to come, they can jump on the actual dash bus in order to get home if no one's actually picking them up. All right, like I said, that was kind of a brief overview. If you have any question, please kind of put them in the chat. We'll have this presentation posted on our website as well. And you're always welcome to call us, send us an email or anything like that. If you have any questions, we're here to help you. So don't be afraid to do that. But I will kind of jump in the chat here with the rest of the staff and see if we can answer any of your questions. I saw a question about tryouts. If you're away, can you still, for fall sports, is there a way for you to try out? That's going to be on a coach by, it's going to be on a individual basis. If it's a non-cut sport, it won't be an issue. If it's a cut sport, you're going to have to talk to the head coach about that to make sure that they can actually assist you with that. The conditioning days and shoot arounds, those type of things will be posted on our website. If you click on our website and go to the sports, like I said, right now the only sports that are doing anything out of season is basketball and football. All the spring sports are obviously in season, and then the other sports may start doing some things over the summer. What chance does a small 8th grader have on a football team? Well, we have a freshman team. So the freshman team is for 8th and 9th graders. So that is an opportunity for them to come out and see what they can do. That's one reason why Coach Huey is doing conditioning and weight room. So if you're small now, you may become big by the end of the summer if you're in the weight room. So there's a lot of small guys out on our football team currently, so don't let that discourage you. Is the JV rugby program strong? There's only one level for rugby currently. But yeah, the rugby program has done a really good job. They play a lot of the top teams here in the area, a lot of the private schools. And one really good thing is that they're one of the sports that get a lot of kids in the school. So I mean, every year we usually have 3 or 4 rugby players that go play rugby in college. So our coaches are really connected in the rugby world, and if that's a sport that you're interested in, please do. Are the 8th graders in conditioning or in the weight room, are they alone or are they mixed with other upper grades? Yeah, when they're doing conditioning, currently they're from 12th grade, 11th grade, 10th grade, everybody's in there, obviously with the coaching staff. But everybody's doing individual things. So if there's a 12th grader, for example, that can lift 200 pounds, they're not going to tell the 8th grader to lift 200 pounds. So it's everything is based upon what that particular child can do. Yeah, if your child's never played a sport, but is interested, yeah, it's a non-cut sport. Yeah, please do. Even if it is a cut sport, you can still come out for it. I mean, depending on what sport it is, you never know. But yeah, don't let them not have played be, some of our sports, you take our rowing program, rugby sometimes gets kids that have never played sports before because they can teach them how to play. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all educational athletics. So we're here to teach as well. Not, we're also here to compete, and we want to win, but there are a lot of the sports that are developmental sports, if you will, and can actually, if the kids are somewhat athletic, can train them and teach them how to play the sport correctly. So rising eighth graders, I mean, that information, that's what we just went over. That will be posted on our website. But tryouts for soccer and lacrosse, which will be next spring, I believe we said was February 21st to the 23rd. And golf is August 2nd through the 4th. Football conditioning, will it be at the CC football field throughout the summer? That's the plan. Our football field is under construction right now. So it's supposed to be finished hopefully by middle of July. Until then, the football team will split their time between TC in the weight room, Chicken Pen, which is the field that's kind of behind our school. And then they will, they've been practicing like this past year at Hammond Middle School. Is golf a walk-on sport? Nope. It's a cut sport. We have some fairly good golfers. Golf is one of the sports we just can't take a whole lot of kids because they don't have enough tee times to get in practice. And when you get into tournaments, there's only a certain amount of kids that can even play in the tournament. So golf is a little bit tricky when it comes to that. There's a question here. About freshman football, yes. I mean, if you go to our website, tcwathletics.org, just go to our football page. Our Coach Huey's information is there. They're doing conditioning Monday through Thursday up at the high school from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's for all football players, freshman, JV, or varsity. He's doing conditioning. They're going to start doing a 7-on-7 league probably sometime in June. The football team will also be doing some camps and stuff as well. So yes, just connect with Coach Huey and we can get you connected. No, it's not too late to join any of the sports. The only sport is too late to join right now is the sports that are in session, which are spring sports. Everything else is open.